Mesdames et messieurs, the greatest festival of our contemporary society, the Olympic Games, is about to begin. This is going to be close.
Oh! They're all completely gassed! They've given it everything on the global bucket! Oh, yeah! Go! Oh!
Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. But that is an Olympic championship.
Ready?
Bonjour, and welcome to Day 4 of the Paris 2024 Olympics on Keep the Flame Alive, the podcast for fans of the Olympics and Paralympics. I am your host, Jill Jarris, coming to you from the main press center here at Paris 2024, and I'm joined as always by my lovely co-host, Alison Brown. Alison, bonjour. How are you?
Bonjour. I'm realizing that yesterday I talked about my fat fingers, and now I'm looking at my feet, and they are looking kind of fat.
Well, you know, we talked about the heat potentially being a problem. Oh, it was a hot day today.
Today was a tough one.
So it was an indoor day for us, and I'm still just so sweaty.
Well, as we'll talk about, just because the event is indoors doesn't mean that there's not a 25-minute walk.
Oh, that's true, too.
To the tram after you walk through the entire stadium.
Oh, good. I'm looking forward to this. We did get some sleep last night, so we're feeling better.
Not enough. Maybe you
Yeah, I
feel
know.
better. I don't.
Well, I got close to 7, I think. We also had a fire alarm because someone in our hotel floor decided to smoke in their room and to set off the fire alarm. So it was just like, what do we do? I didn't even know. I thought it was outside first because I figured, oh, in our neighborhood there's alarms.
This alarm's going off all the time.
But no, it was our hotel, and we started running for the started looking
I
for the
didn't
stairs.
run for anything. The only thing I ran for was I was trying to find a clean bra to put on because I am not coming out of that room.
I hear you. But we're all okay. We got a little more sleep. I felt a little better, a little more refreshed than it was, so that was good. Why don't we just begin the baguette? If you are here in Paris, there's going to be a pop-up pin trading event on Friday the 2nd from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. It will be at the Coke pop-up store near Invalides that I talked about yesterday, or the other day when Claire was on. And you can trade pins also, or you'll be able to trade pins there. There's going to be probably some podcasters with pins there, at least one of us.
Possibly,
because we do have pins to trade. And you can, if you're into pin trading, you can also trade them at the French Pin Trading Collectors Group House, which is a standalone red building at the Parc de Villette across from Club France. They are open 10 to 6 daily. The other follow-up file, I forgot to mention yesterday the very nice volunteers, because we've kind of ragged on the volunteers.
Oh, we have more.
We're gonna keep ragging on the volunteers, but I did have a very nice one at the bus stop at Chantamar's after I got done with judo, and I found the bus stop with like no problem. That was the amazing thing, and I raised my hands in victory, and the volunteer looked at me and said, "Here, please take my folding chair. You look exhausted." And I was exhausted.
That was very sweet.
It was very, very sweet of her. The other shout out to a volunteer is one of the badminton volunteers was wiping down the press tribune tables at badminton today.
Thank you.
I appreciated that because they can get a little grungy.
A little?
Yeah.
Have you seen some of these people sitting at the press table?
Oh, I've smelled them too.
I mean, and for me, I'm not the only one who has to eat at the press table. So even if you try to be neat, it's nice to have them cleaned off.
That's right. That's right. Okay. Anything else cultural that you had today?
Not that was good cultural. Had a lot of bad cultural experiences today.
What happened?
Just, I had a lot of people around me today.
I'm sorry to hear that.
It's okay.
Today I did go, because what I worry about is when we go home and people ask us, so what did you do in France? What did you eat? And we have eaten stadium food.
So, to be fair, I
yes.
did find a lovely little sandwich shop in the Palais de Congrès, And there's always the loveliest girls. I'm now a regular because I've been there 3 days in a row. And she said, "Oh, bonjour. What are you having today?" And they have the same things every day, but I'm going through their menu. So I have not had the same things every day.
That's very good. I did have a sandwich from there. I've gotten they have giant macarons, and I keep getting them. The other day I bought 2 because the other issue is we will not know necessarily what time of day it is, and you forget that if you don't eat dinner in a dinner hour, you aren't eating that night. And then we're up until like 2 or 3 in the morning getting work done, and we get back to the press center and everything is closed. And we have not eaten dinner, and we have no snacks either. That's the other problem.
I don't think we've eaten dinner since we went out to dinner with
Benoit Earth.
Yeah, with Ben from Off the Podium last week.
Mm-hmm. And so that's it. Today, I did have a stadium hot dog, my first stadium hot dog at Badminton.
How is a French hot dog? Is it what is it? No, chaud is cold. No, chaud is hot.
It was chaud.
So chaud chien.
But no, it was boeuf. It was a boeuf hot dog. I have to look at the picture of the description, and then I got yelled at for taking a picture. Because I wanted to remember, because there was stuff on it that I didn't know what it was. It was tasty, but I didn't know what it was. And so the hot dog I had was hot dog boeuf. It was a pain brioche. It was a New England style hot dog bun.
Oh, did they steam the bun?
I don't know if they steamed the bun. It was slit up the top.
Oh.
And I have an aversion to that because I grew up where we have real hot dog buns slit on the side. And then it had sauerkraut. That's what that was? Far out.
It was French sauerkraut.
I guess so. Beef knack. I don't know what that is. Knack de boeuf, which is French. Fried onions and chimichurri.
That's a strange
I know, and it had so the fried onions were on top like bacon bits.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that was the fried onions, or it could have been the beef neck. I don't know.
You don't know what you're eating.
I don't know, and no pictures, please. And then I know there was ketchup and mustard in there as well. So that was a treat. Not really.
It was a dining culinary experience.
And then when I went from Badminton to artistic gymnastics near the metro station, I saw a boulangerie, and I said, I'm going in and buying stuff to take with me to emporter. And got you
had a pain de chocolat, I thought.
Yeah, I did. That was one of the many things I got, because it was just like, you got to get some food because you're going to eat. So I got a kebab panini thing.
Nice.
A kebab in a tortilla, and they
how many
ethnicities
did you have in that meal?
I have no idea.
A kebab, tortilla, panini.
It was a kebab wrap, and then they heated it up. And then I thought, ooh, chicken. And then I was on the train for a while. And then it was like, well, but it's like 95 degrees outside, so it stayed warm. It was still warm when I got to art gymnastics. And I got a pain au chocolat, which got flattened somehow in my bag.
It was like a little slip of a pain au chocolat.
It was. And there's just greasy bags everywhere. And then I had to cross the street to get to the metro stop, and I saw another different boulangerie. I went, oh, let me get some more bread. So I got a baguette, and then I got a cookie and a brownie.
No, it's not a cookie. Is that what they called it?
No, I got a baguette, and then I got a cookie, a chocolate chip cookie.
Is that really what they called it? It wasn't a biscuit. It was really a cookie.
No, she said, well, I think, she was talking to me in English.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I forgot biscuit, to be quite honest, as a word. I should have remembered that. And then a brownie, which was, close enough, because I was really shocked to see that. And I haven't eaten the brownie yet. But I know it is a gloppy mess in that bag.
It is a brownie.
That's right. So I've been munching on bread for dinner. And then the Paris Media Center had a lovely little cocktail party.
Yes. So my dinner tonight was hors d'oeuvres from the Paris Media Center. Thank you. Otherwise, there would have been no dinner.
I appreciate that. And so, yeah, that's our food situation. So if you want restaurant recommendations, don't come to us. We don't know anything, but I can recommend not doing a lot of stuff. All right. What volunteer or officiating job would you like to do today?
Okay. So to no one's surprise, I want to be the ball girl at table tennis. But I noticed something else that they do. So when the ball bounces away and they scoop it up, they put it in a little box. Mm-hmm. And then they bring the box at the next timeout or changeover to the official. Because there's two officials. There's the timing official, mm-hmm. and then the referee. So they bring it to the timing official, and they return the little box. They get another little empty box, and they go back to their corners.
Interesting. I would like to be at badminton, because that's where I was today. And the nice thing about coming in at the end of the session is that you get to see the between-session activities. And it was the magical hour of vacuuming. There was a vacuumer who was vacuuming the courts.
Nice.
It was great. I appreciated that. Yes, so now it apparently is every games we don't know what segment will appear to us as being the thing that's going to stick with these games, but apparently here it's toilet talk. Quite embarrassing, but that's all we got. More toilet stories than you know what to do with. So today I was at badminton. Badminton is at, they call it Porte de la Chapelle, but it's really the Adidas Arena because it's one of the couple of brand new arenas they built specifically for Paris. And it's going to turn into a basketball stadium / community center afterwards. You can see that the Adidas bit has been covered up already, which is always fun. That always makes me laugh. But it's a pretty decent arena. And the size-wise, I think it's going to be nice for their basketball team. So when you got up there were signs that said toilettes hommes one way.
Okay.
And toilette femme the other way.
Okay, that's not uncommon.
Right. When you got to the toilettes, there were Paris 2024 signs slapped on there that said toilettes mixed.
Oh.
So I thought, this is the venue for you.
Yes, since I already hung out with the German-speaking man brushing his teeth in the basement of Grand Palais. Doesn't everybody do that?
So apparently around the media center, the toilets are unisex.
Huh.
And then the toilet bowls are metal. And there is no seat. So
Did you fall?
No, I did not fall in the toilet. But it was...
Was it cold on your tushy?
It was so refreshing. It felt really good. It was so hot today.
It was really hot today, and I could totally see that the metal toilet would have I would not have gotten up.
I know. Well, at first, I walked in and prison toilets? Are you serious? And then I sat down and oh, this feels so good. There we go. Anyway.
I think this is a great time to bring up notre baguette.
All right. As you can see, we're having issues, and we've got a little call for what we call a baguette, because we could use some baguette money. Here, we are a independent podcast, which is fantastic for you because you get to hear the lowdown on everything that happens, including the toilet. I mean, would NBC have toilet talk?
Mike Tirico would never.
No, Mike Tirico would not.
And I would love to hear Mike Tirico do some toilet talk.
That would be good. That would be very good. That's the plus factor of being independent media. The downside is that it's very difficult to finance this operation, and we are listener supported. So if you enjoy what you are hearing and enjoy the Facebook group and all the things that we put together for you as a community to have more fun watching the games. We would appreciate it if you could share a little financial contribution with us, maybe like $20.24. We've got at our website, you can go to flamealivepod.com/support. There are a variety of options, including PayPal, Venmo, and Patreon. Patreon is an ongoing financial contribution that pays out monthly. And our patrons are getting special content all through Paris. Every paid patron gets a special pick of the day. Today you get to see the toilet situation that I experienced. And the $5 a month and up get random videos coming your way. One might have went out today because there was some funky projection mapping stuff at Badminton. So I wanted you to see the pre-show stuff. And we'll have some more videos coming your way as well. So please check all those out and help us keep our flame alive here in Paris and beyond to get us to Milan Cortina as well. So that's flamealivepod.com/support. All right, we've got daily results. We missed skateboarding yesterday.
We missed skateboarding. This was the event that got rescheduled. So on our schedules, it got shuffled around.
And
so
this was rescheduled because of rain.
So this was the men's street skateboarding finals. Gold went to Japan. Horigomi Judo. Silver and bronze both went to skaters from the United States, Jagger Eaton and Nyjah Houston.
All right. In archery, we had the men's individual eliminations. Brady Alison reached the round of 32. He continues on. He is a big name in America. And then in the women's individual eliminations, Shukvastani Casey Kaufhold has reached the round of 32, and she will continue on tomorrow. In artistic gymnastics, it was a women's team final, which
you were there.
I went to, and it was pretty nuts. And you said get there early. And I did not get there early because I was enjoying the badminton. And it was a zoo. I will say that. There was a line to get into the media accreditation entry. I actually had my stuff searched because they didn't like what they saw on the x-ray. This is the first time that's happened.
Yeah.
I had nothing new. So that was tough. And of course, I didn't even go to the venue media center because it's probably 10 minutes away from the venue. Or, 10 minutes away from the press tribune because you have to go halfway around the stadium and up a whole bunch of stairs to get to where you seat. And, of course, by the time I get there, there's not much in the way of choice. So I just end up in the back row. And in the back row, instead of a regular chair at your table, they had tall chairs.
Is that so you won't flip over and plunge to your death?
I think it's to boost you up higher.
So
this
you
is
can
like
see
so you can see.
Because the press tribune in gymnastics is very high and very far away. It's all obstructed view unless you're at the very bottom of the tribune.
Right, and for people who have been complaining about obstructed view or worried about obstructed view tickets on the Paris planning group, there is no worse view than what I had tonight. I could see the entire vault that was opposite me.
Right.
I could see half of the floor. If I ducked down, I could see the balance beam.
Underneath the scaffolding.
Through other people.
Oh, okay.
And then I could not see the bars really unless I stood on my chair. So I am on my chair. I have my legs to either side of me. So I'm straddling the chair all night long because I didn't want to be with my legs in front because if I needed to stand to see something, I would have tipped over that way. Also, I would have been farther away from my computer. It would have been hard to work. That was fun. Then I somehow become surrounded by Italians.
Well, there were a lot of Italians there. Italian press, I would expect.
Exactly. They were so much fun.
Of course we are. Because
the one guy said, he used language I can't use on the show, complaining about how the press tribune was and how the press were getting treated. And he said Tokyo was also bad for press tribune. But he's like, we can't see. We could not see anything. We really, I seriously stood up. I had to stand and balance on this chair. And the one guy left a little early, so then I started balancing on two chairs. I have to work on endurance if this happens again because I could not stand for an entire floor routine.
You had your own balance beam event.
I did have my own balance beam event because I was kind of hovering. I was hovering above my high chair, balanced on either of the side rungs, hoping I'm not falling because it's a flimsy plastic. This is like you would buy it for €5 at IKEA chair. And you know how sturdy that is. The wall behind me, because I'm at the top row, is made of fabric. So there's no leaning back because I'm going to fall backwards through that thing. I don't know what's on the other side. That would not be a good situation either.
You'd meet my nice medical people that at Bercy Arena.
Right? And then I did choose a spot with a monitor in front of me so I could see if I needed to. And then a couple of Italians sat on the other side of me. Oh, my nice Italian man gave me a Raffaello. It was delicious. It's the candy. It was delicious.
Wouldn't
it was
argue
so
with
nice.
that.
And and then the other two guys were like, okay, I made sure they could see the monitors. We were helping each other. He had all the celebrities there. I'm like, how do you know who's here? And he just, I don't know how he knew.
I want to mention the celebrities because we haven't talked about this at all. Mm-hmm. There's been a lot of the celebrity sighting. Mm-hmm. Let's put a pin in that and come back to that in the coming days because I'm of two minds on this, and I want to hear other people's thoughts before I solidify what I'm thinking.
Okay. So today, apparently, Michael Phelps and Anna Wintour and Serena Williams and Natalie Portman and Spike Lee were all there, apparently. Did not know. So many different groups of VIP stuff. So you know how they had the paddles for the IOC family people, and they had hospitality paddles for people who had hospitality packages. They also had special NBC sticks, because I'm sure just a ton of NBC people must have been there as well. It was just a mob scene. Competition was really good. Nastia Lukin did the 3 coops. I had to look at the screen because they didn't put it on the Jumbotron, which doesn't really matter because I couldn't see the Jumbotron, but that was another thing. The finals were gold went to USA, silver went to Italy, and bronze went to Brazil, which is Brazil's first Olympic women's team medal. And they struggled on beam, but boy did Rebecca Andrade bring them back up for their last rotation in vault.
So I think this is Olympics number 3 for her. And she's the reason they have a team. Mm-hmm, I mean, what she has done for gymnastics outside of Europe and in South America is breathtaking and amazing to see. And this is such a beautiful podium because you've got the U.S., you've got Italy. When has Italy won a women's team medal? Certainly not in my lifetime.
Right, and they were very good tonight.
And then Brazil. What? This is fun. This is a fun podium.
It was a fun podium. It was a fun competition. Of course, it was packed in there for Team USA, but you had a decent Brazil contingent. You had a contingent for Canada. You had one for Great Britain. People there for Brazil, or I said that Italians were there. So it was nice to have a good mix of fans. Poor China. China was second after the first rotation, and then they just slid down, and they finished 6th. And then one of the few things I could see on the screen, focusing on one poor girl who was just in tears.
Oh, great. Thanks.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Canada had been 4th. They dropped to 7th after their floor. They went back to 4th for their vault. And then Great Britain displaced them in the last rotation. Rebecca Downey did such a good job on bars.
Oh, nice.
That was lovely to see. Alice D'Amato was just solid, pretty much all night. She's their big star in Italy.
And she's got a shot at the individual podium as well.
Yeah, so that will be one to watch for the individual all around. Top score of the night was 15.100. Guess who got that?
I'm looking at you thinking it is not Simone.
Rebecca Andrade on vault.
Oh,
and I was
she's a killer on vault.
She's killer on vault, and I was so angry because it can be difficult to watch gymnastics in person.
Yes,
because they have stuff going on. Sometimes they hold different apparatuses and let 2 go at once. Sometimes you'll have somebody who is on beam and somebody's floor routine will start in the middle. D'Amato was on floor. I'm watching her floor. I'm balancing like crazy. And in the middle of it, Rebecca Andrade does her vault, and she nails it. and I missed it, and they did not replay it.
Well, we'll find that on the
Yeah, we'll have to find
replay.
out
We'll
the-
find that
yeah.
because
Oh
I
my
have
gosh.
not seen any of this. Just where I was and all the traveling.
Go and watch vault finals or something.
Yeah.
You should see her. I've never seen her in person. What a powerhouse. Oh my gosh. She is incredible. I love the fact that collegiate gymnasts are the mainstay of this team.
Yes, it has changed the sport significantly.
Yeah, I like the maturity that the older generation brings. I also like their choreography better. I'm not sure. Suni Lee and Jordan Childs and Simone Biles all did floor, and I'm not sure how Suni Lee's difficulty was in comparison. Her choreography was just so beautiful. And same with Jordan Childs was having so much fun, and her choreography was good. Like the college gymnastics has been very, very good at teaching more danceability, and it makes the performances a lot better and more from the heart than this is what my choreographer told me to do, and I need to hit these poses and
make the silly and pull the silly faces and
right.
look, I'm so cute.
right. Another fabulous thing. We're back to the Hooked on Classics music, baby.
Oh yes.
Oh my gosh, we had a whole bunch of that because I just went, what decade are we in? Are we in like 1984, 88 again? Because a couple of the Chinese people pulled out that. The other big theme was the dance beat, kind of electronica with the choral voices.
Yes.
That is another big trend in the music.
We love a good disco Gregorian chant.
But it's not a ton of stuff you would recognize. Like there was a little recently, the songs pop songs, kind of like skating routines you would do, but no, it was all instrumental stuff. It was all really put together for gymnastics, not let's slice and dice a pop song. So it was really kind of interesting to see what was going on. Thankfully, nothing like Roma music with the fiddles, but I was really glad to go back to Hooked on Classics. Feel that feeling, not quite exactly Hooked on Classics.
But here's the real question: Did we get a Malagueña?
Oh no, I don't think so.
Then it is not a competition.
I'm sorry. I couldn't go down to the press center to get my paper. Well, to even see if they had paperwork. Somebody at Badminton gave me the eye. Like I went to get the papers, and they did ask, did I have everything I needed? Because I was trying to take kind of everything, and they're like, well, that is tomorrow. I'm like, I don't care. It's just a piece of paper that I can draw on, but write everything on so I don't have to rewrite it or type it up. Anyway, we've had our paper beef. Suni Lee's bar routine was beautiful.
Of course.
Simone stepped out of bounds on her floor.
Okay.
She was but she obviously had a very, very good night. And the U.S. placed something like 3 points ahead. They dominated all night long, basically. And it was a good competition, good, solid competition. Nice to see a lot of talent from all over the world. So then I went to badminton. Badminton's next on the list. Friege was there with a giant badminton racket. And you could come down, like they put the Friege on the floor near one of the stairs, and you could come down on the floor and take your picture with the Friege.
Nice.
That was really cool.
How did his short little arms do with the racket?
Somehow he held it.
Because I also had an experience with the Friege and a racket.
We'll get to that, right? Have you noticed how many videos that they have in the hype videos, I guess you would say?
They have multiple versions. So they have the hype video. It's a great way of calling it, of clips of previous Olympics. Mm-hmm. Then they also have the pre-roll video of the old pictures, but the people are singing pop tunes. They've animated them using AI. Mm-hmm. That is creepy.
It is a creepy video. One of the hype videos is it looks like Tokyo. No. It is past Olympics because Katie Moon is in there. That's really nice to see. They've got one that is, they did one with equality. Like the first time I saw the Alice Millat that was an equality video. But there just seemed to be more and more videos. And then today they had projection mapping on the floor because in between sessions they covered center court on badminton. And I'm like, well, why did they cover center court? Oh, because we have to have another video. And they had a weird video that was projected onto the floor on gymnastics. And then they also had a ballet dancer come out with a guy who danced like Michael Jackson.
Well, yesterday they had, and I forgot to mention this, they had a tumbling crew come out before the men's team event.
That would have been more.
At least that made sense.
This was weird, and I did tape a lot of it, so maybe it'll show up someplace. But this was just really kind of a bizarre performance to have. I will say that. So yeah, there's a lot of like entertainment going on in the venue. The other thing, okay, speaking of venue stuff, I'm not liking these pictograms.
Really?
When they are big, they're really cool. Like in the fencing venue, they've got big ones. Or some venues will have big ones on the wall. If I'm looking on our My Info system, I can't tell what the sport is.
That is true.
When they are small, they are so detailed that you can't see it.
I would agree with that because I was actually thinking the opposite, that I liked the pictograms because blown up on big banners outside the arenas, they're stunning. But absolutely, when they have the pictograms on the computer screen, it's a useless icon. You can't use it to navigate.
Right, because they like to have all of the pictograms up at the top, so you can just click on the pictogram and go to your sport, but I can't tell what sport it is.
I just figure it out sort of alphabetically and guess. Like I can guess that, okay, that one's definitely rowing, so that's an R, so if I need to get to skateboarding, if I click down to rowing, it'll get me close.
So yeah. The 3 coops for the badminton session that started while I was there was volunteer. So that was nice. So it's nice that some volunteers get to do that. The people were really into the 3 coops.
Yes, I have found that as well in all my events.
So that was really cool. The French fan section, and I think maybe some of the listeners have gotten tickets that surprise you're in the fan section. They are nuts. They had a drum and a guy with a megaphone today.
Have you seen the people with the chicken heads?
Yes.
So there are these hats, le coq, and with the red, white, and blue of the French flag, and so there's a lot of chicken heads running around.
I did get a French match.
Nice.
Which is all exciting. And it was a good one. It was singles. It was women's. Je fais, because I kept saying, je fais, je fais.
Oh, nice.
And then she lost to Kaliniana Nabaltova from Bulgaria, 21-18, both games.
Ooh.
It was close. So the setup there is 3 courts, center court, and then court 2 and court 3 on either side. And then they had just kind of rounds come in and out. So my first center court was women's singles, the side court was women's doubles, and the other court was men's doubles. And just play went on. It's a little chaotic because the referees have microphones, or the chair umpires have microphones, so that they can talk to their particular court. They have a coin toss ahead of time to see who gets to serve, and I'm sure there's all procedures around that. I want to know what they do, how high does it have to go, that kind of thing. But it was just great. I had so much fun watching it. I instantly wanted to go and play.
Well, there you go.
It was so good and so fast. I could not tell if the crowd was moving the birdie at all. Shuttlecock.
It's a shuttlecock.
I know.
Don't call it a birdie.
I know. But when Bai Wen-Zhang told us that it can do that, I bet you notice it on the floor, and you don't really see it from where we were. But it was just really, really cool. Highly recommend. It's super fast, and these people can jump high and move, and the agility is great. I just loved it.
I think we should point out that in a lot of these sports, if you've never watched it before, and I found this even today when I was watching volleyball, because I have watched volleyball, but never in person, and even table tennis. I know a little bit about tennis. Mm-hmm. I could figure out the basics enough to really enjoy myself. So I think it's important to know, you don't need to know the ins and outs of all these sports. Okay, it's badminton. You know it has to go over the net. You know it has to stay in the lines. The rest of it, you don't need to know to just start watching.
Right. So, but do tune into badminton. Lots and lots of fun. In basketball, we had men's group play today. Spain beat Greece. This is close match, or not super close. 84-77. Canada beat Australia 93-83. France beat Japan 94-90. And there was a tie between Brazil and Germany, both at 40 points each. We also had 3x3 action. Both men's and women's pools got off the ground. Wins went to Germany and Canada, Spain, and China for the women's side. U.S. did not win. Germany beat them 17-13. And France, home nation, did not win. They lost to China today. In the men's pools, winners were Latvia, Netherlands, France, and Serbia. We saw the end of the France-Poland game, and they just eked out a win.
That was a squeaker.
That was fun to watch. And Serbia beat the U.S. 22-14. So our Shaklistani team, 0-1 right now.
It's a pool match. Well, they're coming back tomorrow.
Exactly. There was more preliminary men's and women's action at the beach volleyball stadium, which had to be hot today.
Oof.
That was bad. BMX Freestyle kicked off. In the men's seeding round, Marcus Christopher and Justin Dowell have advanced. In the women's seeding round, Hannah Roberts, who we talked with at the Media Summit, she had 2 amazing runs. She had a perfect tuck no-hand bar spin. I don't know what that is, but I'm going to go and find out. And
it's funny because I saw an interview with her saying that the bar spin is something that she struggles with.
oh, well, that's good.
So for her to have a perfect move for that is a big deal for her.
Exactly. So she has a total score of 91.45. She is leading in the qualified riders to the next round. We also had early rounds in boxing, either round of 32 or round of 16 for the men's, 80 kilograms and 51 kilograms. And on the women's side, they did 54 and 57 kilograms. Every bout today was a win on points. In Canoe Slalom, we had men's K1 heats and women's C1 heats. Abby Leafarth will be moving on to the semifinals tomorrow. Equestrian in dressage, the team and individual events had their first day of Grand Prix competition. In fencing, we had women's épée team finals.
Yeah, so first we'll talk about what happened to the American women. They did not have a fantastic day. They ended up in 7th place. So this is Ann Sabula, Kat Holmes, and Hadley Hussisian. And they ended up with the last match being 44-30 over Egypt.
And then the gold medal went to Italy, silver went to France, and bronze went to Polo.
This was a wild gold medal bout. So Italy and France, 2 huge fencing nations. Mm-hmm. And where we were at the media center, there were several French fans watching it who, when France lost, very sadly, walked away. But the interesting thing was that this had to go into overtime. I didn't even know there was overtime in fencing because they were tied 29 all at the end of regulation. I mean, what do you call these terms? And then Italy pulled it out at the last second.
And the bronze medal match, Poland versus China, was also tight. And Poland won just by 1 point, 32-31. We are continuing group play in football. Today was Men's Day. So winners were, we had a tie between Dominican Republic and Uzbekistan, but other winners were Paraguay, Egypt, Argentina, Morocco, the U.S. beat Guyana 3-0, France beat New Zealand 3-0, and Japan also won its match against Israel. In handball, we had women's prelims today. Winners were Germany, Norway, Netherlands, and France. Hungary and Angola got a 31 all tie, and Sweden-Denmark also had a tie at 14. So the pool is still really tight. The 2-1 is the record for Norway, Sweden, and Denmark, and they're all at the top of their pool. And on the other side of the pool, France is undefeated. They are the only undefeated team in the whole competition. In hockey, we had men's pool stages, a couple of ties. France and Spain tied, Great Britain and Netherlands tied. Then Argentina, Belgium, Germany, and India all won. Netherlands in their pool is the only undefeated team, and in the other pool, Belgium is undefeated. In judo, we had the 63 kilogram round for the women, and men's 81 kilograms competed today. In the women's side, gold went to Andrea Leszki from Slovenia. Silver went to Priscia Awiti Alcaraz from Mexico, and the 2 bronze medals, one went to Clarice Agbenenu from France and Laura Fazliu from Kosovo. On the men's 81 kilograms, gold went to Nagase Takanori from Japan, silver went to Tato Grigalashvili from Georgia, and the 2 bronzes went to Korea's Lee Jun-hwan and Soman Makhbedakov from Tajikistan. In rowing, we had women's double scull semis. So Christy Wagner finished 5th. Unfortunately, that does not mean she will advance to the medal round. She will race in the B final. And then in the women's lightweight double sculls, Michelle Sexer finished 2nd in her semifinal, and she will row for a medal.
Gold lady.
In Rugby Sevens, the semifinal, we had the women's tournament now. In the semifinals, New Zealand beat U.S. 24-12. Canada beat Australia 21-12. For the bronze medal bout, U.S. won, so we won a bronze medal for the women's rugby. USA beat Australia.
Were you out there, Jill?
No, I wasn't.
Yeah.
Can you see me? Oh, yeah, you might see me on a rugby. No, you wouldn't, because I like my ears. And I like my head, too. I don't want to get concussed like that. U.S. beat Australia 14-12, and for the gold medal, New Zealand beat Canada 19-12. Did they do a haka? Do we know if they did a haka?
Well, first, go Silver Ferns.
Yes.
And I have not seen any film of this yet, so I would assume that they did. I hope that they did. We will find you your haka.
Thank you. Sailing, we had more in the regatta for men's windsurfing and skiff, and also windsurfing on skiff on the women's side. Maggie Shea and Stephanie Roble are 17th overall right now. In the shooting competition, we had the mixed team 10-meter air pistol finals. Gold went to Zorana Arunovic and Damir Mikic from Serbia. Silver went to Seval Ilada Tarhan and Yusuf Dikic from Turkey. And bronze went to Manu Bakar and Sarabaf Sinj from India. And in the men's trap qualification, in the men's trap finals, gold went to Nathan Hales from Great Britain, who got an Olympic record. Silver went to Qi Ying from China, and bronze went to Jean-Pierre Broil Cardenas from Guatemala. Surfing the finals are ongoing soon, so we'll have the results tomorrow.
We may still be up on Paris time. They end at 4:30 in the morning.
Oh, well, that's great. In swimming, we had the 100 meters back final. In swimming, we had the women's 100 meter backstroke final. Gold went to this is a race. Gold went to Kaylee McCowan from McCowan. McEwen? Okay.
I don't know. We'll have to check with our Aussie friends.
Okay. Gold went to Kaylee McEwen from Australia. Silver went to Reagan Smith from the U.S. And bronze went to Catherine Burkhoff from the U.S. And in the 800 meter free final, gold went to Daniel Whiffen from Ireland. Wow,
it's a second medal for Ireland in swimming.
That's nice. And then Bobby Fink from the USA got silver, and Gregorio Paltrineri from Italy got the bronze.
Italy's doing quite well in swimming this time. We've seen a lot of Italian medals.
Interesting. And it is surprising, Bobby Fink. I am curious to see how he thought about that. We'll have to look for some of those flash quotes that they put up on my info for us. And then we had the men's 4x200 meter freestyle relay. Gold went to Great Britain, silver went to the U.S., and bronze went to Australia.
I think from what we are hearing, there's a lot of controversy in the U.S. about how the American swimmers are not winning gold.
That is coming across. I am very curious as to what they think.
So the one thing I do want to mention about the swimming competition, in some semifinal action, was the return of my friend, Zach Stubblety-Cook.
And is he moving on?
He is moving on.
All right.
I believe he won his semi, so yes, we will see him tomorrow night.
Excellent. Table tennis. You went to table tennis today.
I did go to table tennis. So earlier in the day, there was men's and women's early round singles tournaments. I ended up at the medal matches for the mixed doubles. I thought I was going to early round matches, and then they started setting up the podium. So I mentioned before that the Frege was there. He tried to hit the balls into the crowd, and the first couple he missed because of his short little arms and the little paddle, but then he sort of got the action that worked, and so there were table tennis balls going into the crowd. The biggest problem at the table tennis venue is that the tribune was packed, fine. The Olympic family area, what they call the Olympic family area, was also packed. And packed to the point where they had people standing up blocking the view of the tribune. Because apparently there's no such thing as high demand tickets for Olympic family. If you want to go, you go. Nobody tells you no when you have an Olympic family credential.
Wow. Which, of course, we've talked off air about how people standing in your way means that you don't get to do your job.
And also at this event were some very unhelpful volunteers who also all stood up in front of the press tribune, blocking our view. And yes, part of the problem is that I'm short, but even when I stood up at that point, because there was like volunteers standing there, clearly not doing a job. They were there, I assume, to do a job, but they were just on their phones taking pictures of the match. Mm-hmm. And the poor reporter next to me, who clearly was a table tennis reporter, was so incredibly frustrated. And then I had to go say something to one of the volunteers who wasn't in this crowd, saying, could you please move these people? We can't do our jobs. We can't see because these kids are all standing around taking pictures. And his solution was to have them lean over.
Oh, that's going to work for an entire match.
Right. That was great. And then the bigger problem came as we were moving along. So all the stairways, all the standing areas were filled with people. There was no getting in or out.
Wow. That's a
incredibly
safety thing.
dangerous. It
Yes.
was incredibly dangerous. And I am shocked that no one took a tumble backwards down these incredibly rickety, steep stairs, because there was pushing, there was shoving, there was all kinds of jockeying for camera shots among the volunteers and then the Olympic family people as well.
Jeez Louise. Well, and what surprised me at handball, and I'm guessing it sounds like it's the same at table tennis, is that the stands don't hold a ton of people.
They do not. And the tribunes are small, and the Olympic family areas, at some places are enormous, but at a lot of places are quite small. It was not a good scene.
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
And to be fair, when you're putting together these seating things, you don't want to go overboard because you don't want to not sell out your tickets. But then when you go underboard and you have so much demand in different areas, that also is not great.
It is a calculus. It is difficult. I do not expect them to block off the best seats for the tribune.
Right.
But it would be nice to be able to see from the tribune. So now this is the second event I've gone to where the volunteers are preventing me from doing my job. And that is infuriating.
Wow.
It's bad enough when they don't know where the press tribune is, which I also had today, where I ran into a volunteer in this huge arena that is volleyball and said the sign stopped.
Oh,
it was,
yeah.
Press tribune this way, press tribune this way. And then they stopped. So I asked the volunteer who's standing there with his pink foamy finger telling people where to go. Where do I go for the press tribune? And he said, I don't know. So I said, is there someone who might know? No. That was his answer. So good luck to me. And the worst part was it was just around the bend. So it was in his section.
Oh,
so there is no way I was the only reporter who asked this
right.
gentleman where the press tribune was, because the sign stopped. He's standing there. It's a little further along, but it also is a little further along in what looked like was not an accessible area. So I wasn't sure if it was okay for me to walk. So I just walked. Good luck to me. Good luck to me.
That hasn't stopped us before.
Fair enough. But I do want to mention some of the good things about the table tennis event. Chinese fans were nuts.
Awesome.
Wild. Also, don't tell the Chinese fans that Hong Kong is not a part of China.
Oh, no.
Because there was a pair from Hong Kong in the bronze medal match. And they cheered for them as if they were Chinese, and cheered as in they waved their Chinese flags for the Hong Kong team. The bronze medal went to the Korean pair, and this little girl just turned 20 this month.
Oh.
And was she an absolute joy? What enthusiasm. Fantastic player, clearly. Wonderful communication and energy with her partner, but nothing got her down.
So this is the partnership of Lim Jong-hoon and Shin Yu-bin.
Just really incredible to watch. And then in the gold medal match, you had a pair from China, which is Wang Chu-kin and Sung Yi-shan. And then the appearance of North Korea, or as they prefer,
The People's Republic of?
the Democratic
the Democratic
People Republic of Korea.
Oh, that's right. DPRK.
DPRK. And it was interesting. There were some DPRK fans. I assume they're other members of the team because nobody else gets to travel. That's Ri Jung-sik and Kim Kum-young. They got a couple warnings for no time wasting.
Oh.
So apparently there is a yellow card that comes out. It's the same in fencing. We saw this today in fencing. And she says, the referee was a woman. She says, no time wasting, as she holds up the yellow card, either in her left or right hand to indicate. Also, the coolest thing that I want to mention to you, when there is a timeout, the official, not the referee, but the timing official, takes out a box clock and puts it on the table.
Oh, that is
and
awesome.
And it counts down the time. Other thing, they don't sit like tennis players. They never sit during the match.
Oh, okay.
Timeouts, changeovers, they never get to sit.
That's interesting.
Tennis players are lazy.
Whoa. Fighting words.
So medal results were gold to China, silver to PRK, the North Korea, and bronze to Korea.
In tennis, a big day in tennis. So men's singles winners, big name winners, not everybody, but big name winners were Alexander Zverev, Daniil Medvedev, Taylor Fritz, Tommy Paul, and Felix Auger-Aliassime from Canada. They are all moving on in their round. On the women's side, Coco Gauff had a shocking loss to Dagmar Vekic, and that score was 7-6, 6-2. So about, I believe, 4-2 in the second set, it wasn't very much into the second set. There was a controversial call where the lineman called it out, so Coco Gauff didn't attempt to hit it. You know, it's one of those, did you play through? Because sometimes you don't know if it's going to be out or in. Do you play you play through the ball? Well, the lineman called it out, so she didn't play through, and then there was a challenge, and then the call got overturned and it was in. And so, of course, Coco was so frustrated over saying, look, they called it out, we need to replay the point, and they wouldn't replay the point. And that just kind of was the turning point in this match for sure. This year's French Open finalist, Jasmine Paolini, she lost to Anna Karina Schmidlova from Slovakia. German Angelique Kerber beat Leila Fernandez from Canada. And then Iga Swiatek, Daniel Collins, and Barbara Krejcikova all won as well. In men's doubles, Carlos Alcaraz and Rafael Nadal, they are moving on. So are Andy Murray and Dan Evans from Great Britain.
I hope that can at least be a semifinal. You know, the way the matchups go.
Yeah.
I mean, the final would be too much to ask for.
I know. So we'll have to look at the bracket and see how that looks up. And then Ukraine's Marta Kostyuk and Diana Yevstremska, they lost to Chinese Taipei's Su Wei and South China Yi. In mixed doubles, Coco Gauff and Taylor Fritz won. So Coco Gauff is still in the tournament. I believe she's still in the tournament in women's doubles as well.
Hey, you know what didn't happen today?
How's the river?
Nobody was swimming in the Seine today, so men's triathlon was rescheduled for tomorrow because the quality of the Seine was unacceptable in parts. In different spots. They found it not okay. I don't know how that's going to be okay tomorrow. We're getting thunderstorms tonight.
Yeah, we're supposed to get thunderstorms, so we'll see what happens there. I saw on the little local weather app for France, hail might be involved.
And you want to go to beach volleyball tomorrow?
Well, you never know. So we'll see, because not good quality in parts means that it's getting better from the 2 days of rain that we did have. So I don't know. This is going to be tough. Hopefully they don't move it to a duathlon. That's for sure. In volleyball, you went to this as well because you were in the same big complex.
So volleyball, handball, and table tennis are all in this same building sports complex. So you can very easily walk between them. I went to the third of the preliminary matches, Slovenia and Serbia. And the announcers at volleyball are fantastic. And the English language announcer said something about you need to pick a team before the match started. Pick a team and cheer for them as if you were born there. Well, I think he didn't realize that a lot of people who were born there were at this match. Because there was a lot of flags. So clearly people had come prepared, which was great. Slovenia has never been in the men's Olympic volleyball before, so this was their first. And Serbia was the final team to qualify.
Oh, holy cow.
In the end, Slovenia dominated. They won 3-0. But there were a couple of really funny moments. Sweet Caroline.
All right. And
on the playlist. This DJ had a sense of humor, though, because at one point, and I apologize, I don't have all the players' names, the Slovenian server hit one of his teammates in the back of the head. You have a missed serve and it slips. And so the DJ starts playing Please Forgive Me by Bryan Adams. But wait, it gets better. So he really hurt him because the trainer came out and there was some ice involved. And then he was decided it was okay and he continued to play. And so the DJ starts playing What Doesn't Kill You Makes You Stronger by Kelly Clarkson.
That's fantastic.
And the reporters next to me, who I believe were Serbian, could not stop laughing. That was the moment that bonded us, because when I first heard the Bryan Adams song, I started laughing, and he looked over at me. And then when the Kelly Clarkson, we all three of us just lost it a little bit. But by winning this game, even though the pool play isn't over, Slovenia has qualified for the quarterfinals.
Oh, okay.
So
good.
Nice first visit for Olympic volleyball for Slovenia.
Excellent. Also winning today, Italy, U.S., and France in their preliminary rounds. In water polo, we were men's tournament today. And honestly, last night I did think about going back to the water polo venue just to see if they still had that extra wide toilet paper. I did.
We are not in the toilet talk segment. Put it away.
Okay. Men's preliminary rounds, Australia, Italy, France, and the U.S. all won. As did...
Our notes were a little shaky there.
Yes, I had to go through the big... We get breaking news from Team USA, so every day we get about 200 emails that are all... This is breaking news.
So every Team USA athlete who does anything in early rounds, medals, every team game, we get a breaking news email.
And the hard bit is that it comes in and it says breaking, and sometimes the rest of the subject is disappeared, so I always think they're talking about breakdancing. I think every single release comes in.
But breakdancing is not until next week.
I know. That's the worst part of it. But
so who else won in men's water polo?
So and if you the Team USA, which features our Ben Halleck, they were tied at the end of the first quarter. The U.S. had 6 unanswered goals. Romania answered, and then they both had 4 goals each in the final thing, but that wasn't enough for Romania. They got U.S. beat them 14-8, so it was a big score there. And then other winners today were Greece and Spain. In the pools, in Pool A, Italy and Greece are undefeated, and in Pool B, Spain is undefeated. And that's it for today's action.
Which means we get to introduce our new mascot. So
Yay.
we are having 3 mascots throughout the Olympics. So this middle portion, you are going to meet Serendipity. She is a 5-year-old field spaniel who lives with our Kickstarter supporter, Amy, who is also one of our Shukhlastani authors.
Yes, and Serendipity is adorable.
Yes, we will have pictures and videos. Amy sent me a ton of different season videos.
Ooh.
And Sarah engaging in some different activities. So I'll just tease that out. So thank you very much, Amy, for sharing her with us and also for supporting our Kickstarter that got us here.
Definitely. If you are looking forward to the wrestling tournament, the dulcet tones of Jason Bryant have put together a guidebook. It's 93 pages, no ads. It's just tons of statistics. Will get you up to date on everybody in the tournament. And even if you watch it and get into wrestling and want to know more, great thing to have. He knows everything to know about the sport. It's $25, but if you use the discount code FLAMEALIVE, you will get $5 off. So check that out. It is mattalkonline.com/Paris, and we will have a link to that in the show notes. So our medal count today.
Unchanged for today.
But Bobby Fink got a medal.
Oh, then I'm wrong.
Okay. Not unchanged, but we'll have to do tallies for tomorrow.
Yes.
All right. And watching who in Shuklistan is competing tomorrow.
Casey Caulfield continues individual eliminations in women's archery.
Baiwen Zhang plays an elimination game against Tai Lin Nguyen in women's badminton.
Team USA men's 3x3 face Poland.
Kelly Chang and Sarah Hughes play their next pool game in beach volleyball against Vieira and Chamereau of France.
Evie Liebfarth heads to the semis in Canoe Slalom C1.
Hannah Roberts rides for gold in BMX Freestyle.
USA Fencing competes in men's team saber.
And it is day 4 of the sailing regatta for Stephanie Roble and Maggie Shea in women's skiff.
Morgan Pearson may or may not compete in men's triathlon.
And then there is more pool play for our hockey, water polo, and volleyball players on Team USA. And that is going to do it for this episode. Special thank you to our researcher, Annalie Dable.
And if you want to get in touch with us while we are here in Paris, find us on X, YouTube, and Instagram at FlameAlivePod. Send us an email at flamealivepod@gmail.com. Call or text us at 208-352-6348. That's 208-FLAME-IT. Chat with us and other fans on our Facebook group, Keep the Flame Alive Podcast, and get our special daily Games Time newsletter. You can sign up for that at flamealivepod.com.
Join us again for more action from Paris. If your friends are having Olympic fever all of a sudden and don't know about the show, please do tell them about it and hang out with us in our Facebook group because it is hopping over there. And please do not forget that your support financially helps this show continue on. So we would really appreciate a few bucks thrown our way. Thank you so much for listening, and until tomorrow, keep the flame alive.